from whatever place it is that you tuned onto the Life Signatures Radio. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode in this show, in this podcast, which is a daily teaching, inspiring, motivating podcast. It's a virtual incubator for purpose, for productivity, and for resilience. God has given us the opportunity and the privilege and the passion and the unction every morning to make sure that there is an episode talking about one of those things every single day. And in between, we also talk about other things that are related to those three things of purpose, productivity, and resilience. For instance, we are in the middle of a series right now. We're talking about reputation. What does reputation connect to? It connects to purpose. What does it connect to? It connects to also productivity. And what does it connect to? It also connects to resilience. Sometimes your reputation comes to a standstill, or sometimes it's soiled, or sometimes you mess it up yourself. Resilience teaches you that you rise up, you dust yourself up, and you learn your lessons, and you become a better human being. So we're talking about purpose, productivity, and resilience. And today, I'm going to continue talking about reputation. There's one thing that you can actually do that can spoil your reputation. There's one attitude you can have that can really mess up your reputation. I want to talk about that today in the episode. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures Podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures Podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
So let me ask you this question, ladies and gentlemen. When your name is mentioned, what are you known for? What is the reputation that precedes you? When that reputation is mentioned, can your name be attached to it? What do you want people to perceive when your name is mentioned? What do you want them to perceive of you? That will be your reputation. If you wanted to carve out a reputation, there are some things you'll actually do actively. And if you wanted to leave your reputation on its own, I can give you a lesson here. I can give you a hack. If you do not want to focus on your reputation and let your reputation take care of itself, you know what you need to do? Focus on what matters. Do the Rotarian, what do they call it? The Rotarian, forget it. I forget what it is, but they normally say for everything we do, we have got to ask ourselves, is it good for all? Is it fair for all that are concerned? And so on. Is it profitable? Whatever. So if you wanted your reputation to take care of itself, that's what you do. You do the right thing, and the reputation is going to take care of itself. But we've learned over the past several episodes that even though you do that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be okay. You need to mind your reputation. You need to be careful about your reputation, because sometimes you'll have the distractors or detractors out there who just want to bring you down. They just hate you for one reason or another. The Gen Z call them haters. They just hate you for one reason or another, and they want to speak lies and peddle lies about you. And that's why we thank God we have courts of law who recognize how important man's reputation is. Character assassination is recognized in that if you soiled my reputation and there is no evidence of the things you purported that I did, it's not there. It's considered libel, which means I can sue you. And two things will happen. One, when I win the lawsuit, the judge will make sure that my name has been rectified. Of course, the press will be there and they will say, this guy, they claim that he was like this, but the courts have found him to be not so. In other words, my reputation will remain intact, or will even be upped, or will be protected. Let me use that word, protected. But secondly, I will be compensated for the loss. I will be compensated for my name being drawn in the mud. But ladies and gentlemen, there's one thing that I want to talk about that you can do. You, the owner of the reputation. There's one thing that you can do, and it will ruin your reputation in an instant. I'm going to use two stories here. First, as I was growing up, and I'm still doing that, some years back, I used to read a lot of newspapers, and something that's how I'm weaning myself off. I've actually weaned myself off of newspapers. I just look at newspapers for the sake of looking for business. But I don't read news. I don't go through newspapers to see who said what is the politics of the day, and so on. I do believe that that is the work for intercessors. A newspaper or news is the report card for intercessors, but I'm not going to go there. So as I was going through the newspapers as a young kid back then, I saw a story of an American billionaire who was visiting Africa, was visiting Kenya, was making trips. And of course, the news channels were out there, the newspapers were out there following his steps and reporting about him. And as I was reading, I came to a place where I just totally lost respect for this guy. I'm going to tell you why I lost respect for this guy a bit later in the episode. Recently in Kenya, maybe 2 or 3 years back, there was a so-called gospel artist who was going around advertising, saying that he is looking for a wife. And he put up billboards with this name on the billboards and so on, just creating some kind of vibe about his life, about his reputation. I can tell you that his reputation was not necessarily upheld well, because some people could say that he was a mental case, is becoming a mental case. And whatever he was trying to do, I don't know how it ended. But these two guys, these two stories, they coalesce onto one thing, ladies and gentlemen. The billionaire, was it a millionaire or a billionaire? The American billionaire who visited my country when I was a young kid, and this guy who is putting his face on a billboard, in ostensibly so that he's looking for a wife. You know what? They have the same kind of problem. You know what the problem is? It is self-indulgence, selfishness, focusing on themselves. If you do things that are focused on yourself in the public, in the eyes of the public, that is the moment you lose respect. That's the moment people lose respect for you, just like that, in an instant. Reputation is about the opposite of selfishness. It's about the opposite of focusing on yourself. So both these people have the same trait that make them lose their reputation in an instant. It is simply one word. This American millionaire, when interviewed emphatically, he said that he will, listen to this, never share his wealth with the Africans. He said, I've worked hard for my wealth, there's no way. And nobody was asking him for his money. He just thought that he should put it out there. Nobody was begging him for his money. He just came out saying, I'll never share my money with hard-earned money with the Africans. That he had toiled for it, and they should do the same. At that moment, my friends, in that time, though a little boy in my preteens, I believe, I lost respect for this guy to date, and I don't know where he is. I can't even remember his name. Something in my spirit just went off. It just couldn't resonate. His reputation in my life at that moment in time was instantly soiled. And what did this millionaire and this gospel artist, what do they do? They were selfish. There is only one thing that I can imagine at the moment, that if you did, that will instantly make you to lose your reputation. It is simply this: be selfish, focus on yourself, That's why it is so poisonous. It's so venomous. It's poisonous. Why is it selfishness that causes people to lose reputation? Why is it that it's selfishness that causes people to lose reputation? The world we live in is looking for selfless people. It's looking for people who can help them, people who can help this world, people who can matter, people who can do positive things, people who are selfless. At the bare minimum, the world is looking for people who will make them feel, among other things, make them feel cared for, make them feel wanted, make them feel important, make them feel valued, make them feel helped, make them feel human, make them feel needed. If you can make people feel this, then your reputation goes up in their minds and in their hearts. But you see, selfishness at the root of every vice. You find selfishness right there. If I lacked integrity, it will be because I am selfish for the most part. If I used people for my own gain, it will be because I am selfish. If I use shortcuts to have dishonest gain, it will be because I am selfish. If I was greedy, it will be because at the root of it all, I am selfish. If I made people feel that they were inferior, it will be because I am selfish. If I was in a position to help and didn't help, it will be because I was focusing only on myself. See, reputation is simply that which other people think and say about me, and for the most part it will be after they have experienced, they've had an interaction with me. If I were to lose my reputation in an instant, it will be for the most part because I did something totally selfish. It goes without saying. And I have a reason to believe that whatever it is that you do to lose your reputation, either instantly or otherwise, it will have to be directly connected to you doing things selfishly. Is there a place for you being selfish? I don't know. I don't want to go on a tangent to start deriving that, but there could be. But if you are doing things primarily selfishly, that's a recipe for you losing your reputation there and then. So if you want to keep your reputation strong, I strongly suggest that you find a way to rid yourself of any selfishness or any appearance of it. If anything, if you lived your life with selflessness, it is because you are thinking mostly of other people. And if you are thinking primarily because of other people, it becomes really extremely difficult for your reputation to be soiled. In fact, at some point in time, you might, I don't know how to write this, you might not even need to employ a PR organization unless your PR organization is teaching you to be selfless. But if you are selfless at this, the people that have experienced you, people that have interacted with you, will become the ones who become your PR. They will protect your reputation because you made them feel good, you made them feel wanted, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, this life is filled with people who are so much focused on themselves, and the more you focus on yourself, the more you lose your reputation, unless that's the price you want to pay for the so-called money that you're looking for. So what I remember is that if you can come to a place in your life where you are interacting with someone, even though, let me tell you this, even though that someone is a crook, but they make you feel better. And that's why it's so easy for these politicians to keep being elected over and over again. Why? Because they go and they give you handouts, make you feel like they care. Even though they are crooks, they make you feel like that you care. I mean, they appear as if they are selfless. And we keep electing them back, sending them back to parliament. And when they get to parliament, the very first thing they're going to do is to increase their salaries. And they will tell you they're going to increase their salaries because they have you in mind. They're going to get the salary and they're going to come and share with you in terms of handouts. But you get my point. The point I'm making here is that the fastest way to lose your reputation is to become selfish, to do things in a selfish way. So tomorrow we are going to start looking at how you can disfigure your reputation on top of what we just said today. How can you go ahead and disfigure your reputation? Stay tuned.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.